Digimon Digital Monsters, 4th attempt at a card game?
Yeah,
Or is it the 5th attempt? I don't know. I can't keep track. This is something different that we're doing on the channel, by the way, because Digimon card game comes out this month. I built, Eric and I got into it in the sneak preview in November, and we've been playtesting a couple of games. Really fun game. We're hoping to see if we can get a bunch of the other guys into it. We're going to try and see if we can post this page, this video on both the Team Forbidden page and on my own personal YouTube page where we can get a whole bunch of other stuff started. But for the first Digimon deck profile that we're going to have, I'm showcasing my not 100% competitive, but I play this game mostly for fun, a red Greymon deck as I like to call it. So let's get into it. Reason it's a red Greymon deck is it uses most of the Digimon species under Greymon. So first things we have to get into is there's a 5-card optional Digi-Egg deck where I've got 4 Koromon and 1 Yokomon. Digi-Egg deck is optional to play the game. You don't have to play it, but it makes digivolving into your rookies a lot easier. And a lot of Digimon, what they will have is they will have a level, which level 3 and over are the ones that can go into the battle area, and a lot of them will have an inherited effect as well. So when this one goes all the way to Mega, you get a plus 1,000 power during your turn, and this one gives your Digimon plus 1,000 power whenever you're, you would actually attack one of the opponent's other Digimon on board.
Awesome.
For the first card, we run 4 Agumon, and a big major difference between this game and the Pokemon card game. in my mind, Pokemon and Digimon are like Star Wars and Star Trek. What happens to one of them will affect the other. They form a symbiote species. Pokemon, as you know, you can only have 4 of the same Pokemon in your deck. Digimon on the other hand, it has to be the same card number. So as long as it's 4 cards with the same card number, you can run as many as you want. So for example, I got 4 of this Agumon. That gives your Greymons with Greymon in their name for an extra 2,000 power during your turn, compared to this Agumon, which is just generic and gives your any Digimon that you have an additional 1,000 power. So yeah, this is the Agumon from the starter deck, and you can run both of these because they have different card numbers here and there. To help recycle through the Agumons, we have 4 copies of Agumon Expert, where this one you can Digivolve into it for 0. That's probably another thing I should explain. All Digimon have 2 costs on them that go off of the Chrono Clash system, which is memory. So you basically have to pay however many memory you want in order to play a card, and then when the memory gauge goes to the other side, it becomes your opponent's turn. So all Digimon have a hard cost to play from the hand, and a lot of them will have a Digivolution cost as well. So as you can see, the Digivolution cost for this card and all these other Agumons are 0. So you can just literally lay them on top of one of your eggs for free, and then whenever you Digivolve, you draw a card. So that's why you have the egg deck. A lot of Digimon, though, will have an effect that says on play, which unfortunately means you have to hard play them from your hand for this hard cost right here. But this one, whenever he's played, you can get back any Agumon from your discard pile or your trash bin into your hand. And for our last rookie, we're playing 1 Monodramon, which is a low cost to just play from your hand, 0 thing. This is going to become... There's a lot of changes that are going to be happening to this deck when the next set comes out in February. And I basically completely changed the focus on it. But for right now, he's a nice little low-cost rookie. For champions, I'm running a little suboptimal champion lineup. But again, I wanted to focus on fun because this is a Greymon deck. 4 copies of Greymon with the Digivolution ability that lets you get security attack +1. Digimon basically goes off of a security system rather than a life point. So when you start the game, kind of like Pokemon with prize cards, you have 5 cards from the top of your deck that go into your pile on the left-hand side of the field, and those are basically your firewalls that prevents your opponent from getting to you. So your opponent constantly attacks those, and when you're out of those and your Pokemon successfully attacks you directly, that's how you win. So this Greymon lets you check an additional security card instead of if you would normally attack for 1, you'd be attacking and checking 2 of them. And for the second level 4 that we have in the deck, we have 3 of this Greymon from the booster set, which gives your Digimon plus 2,000 power. Reason I'm running this one, a lot of people are running 4 Dark Tyrannomon instead. I understand that, but I like this deck as more fun than competitive. But they'll play this and they won't even touch this guy. But I like this guy because he's a 4 cost to play from the hand, which is relatively cheap, and a 2 cost to evolve versus this guy, which is a 1 cost to evolve. And then you have 4 blockers and Koromon Green, Blockers, basically if your opponent tries to attack anything, you can just switch this thing to the side and say, nah, you're attacking me instead. Think of it like Jam Defender for all of our Yu-Gi-Oh people who are watching this video, where that forces you to attack Revival Jam. Next, we have our second big heavy hitter. It's the secret rare Metal Greymon. Oh, I love this card so much. This card can single-handedly win games on its own. It's got an evolution effect that gives your Digimon whatever Digivolves from it plus 3,000 power, which is really freaking good. But the reason we play it is because it's on its own, has security attack plus 2. So if you have small semi-combo tutorial, if you have this stacked on top of this, let's say stacked on top of this, because when you Digivolve cards, you stack them on top of each other. So this would give it 2,000 power, which makes it 11,000, which will get past most securities for the most part. And Greymon gives it an additional security attack plus 1. It's already got security attack plus 2. Yeah, you'll lose 5 memory when you attack with it, but even if the memory gauge goes to the opponent's turn, you still continue the attack until the attack is finished. So yeah, so if you have this under this, you're checking for 4 of their 5 security cards at once for 11,000 power. It's not that bad. It can quite single-handedly end games. If you have another Digimon poised to attack, you win. But I've always liked the Virus Metal Greymon, and this card is so cool. To continue our ultimates, we have the Vaccine Metal Greymon, which is not as good, but it's I felt like I needed another Metal Greymon to go into that would deter my opponent from playing blockers. And if any of your Digimon are blocked, when the Digimon Digivolve from this attacks, you gain 3 memory. So I'm just like, whatever. And then we have 2 Skull Greymons. This one you have to play from your hand. It just automatically gets rid of an opponent's blocker. That's it for the ultimate level 5s. On the level 6s. 1 copy of the Starter Deck War Greymon, which if you go all the way up into him, from egg all the way into him, you can attack for, again, 3 or 4 security cards all in one, and you're going to have like 12,000 plus power. So you're going to check a bunch of the opponent's security cards and get rid of all their resources before you can attack them directly for the win. The alternative for this one is the 3 War Greymon from the first booster set. If I remember correctly, in the original days of the game in Japan, a lot more people were playing this one. Personally, I think this card is better, even though it's 1 cost cheaper to Digivolve, so 4 versus 3. And during the turn you play it, it's going to have security attack plus 1 anyway, or the turn you Digivolve it, it'll have security attack plus 1. But the reason this one is so great is option cards that are triggered from the security stack do not activate at all. So a lot of option cards will have an effect where when they pop up in your security, you just activate their main effect. This one just stops that from going off. To handle some Rookie Rush, we've got 3 Volcanic Dramons, which is a nice level 6 that you can just drop from your hand and just blow up your opponent's board. It also has security attack plus 1. Red really excels at the security attack plus 1 effect. And finally, we have 3 copies of what many people say is the best card in the game right now. The Royal Knight himself, Omnimon.
High $70 card.
So yeah, Eric and I actually opened a whole case of this set. We pulled 4 of this guy in it, and he let me have the 3 of them because he's a really, really good friend.
You needed the 3 for the deck anyway.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, you're a really good friend. So,
so then 1.5, 3 Ultra S?
No, because Ultra S is my boy. So Omnimon, when he's Digivolved and comes down, he basically deletes any one opponent's Digimon, and then any other Digimon that they have out on the field in the battle area with the same name. So yeah, you're probably thinking, some of you super competitive Digimon players, dude, your deck really falls prey to this card because you got like all your Digimon have the same name. And I'm like, that's true, but I'm not here for super competitive for this game yet. I'm here for fun. Plus, he can also unsuspend himself by returning the level 6 that you have under him to your hand. But yeah, arguably best card in the game. I mean, it's Omnimon. Do I really have to say more?
But you can't.
Next, we have 4 copies of what I consider is the best option card in the game right now.
Did you send it off the
Simple,
website?
yet effective.
Oh, I thought I said.
I mean, it's 8 cost, which is, yeah, a little bit expensive, but you just delete one opponent's Digimon. And if it's flipped as a security, you do the same exact thing.
That card's plastic.
I know, and it's exclusive to the starter deck, but you only get 2, so you have to buy 2 of the starter deck in order to get a play set.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
20 bucks.
20 bucks, let's go. And we're rounding off the deck with 3 copies of 4 cost tamer tie, or as I like to say, 4 big tie. Because this thing, if your memory's below 3 on your turn, it automatically goes up to 3. And all your Digimon that have 4 or more evolution sources that are red gain security attack +1. But yeah, that's the Digimon deck. It's relatively easy to play. It's not something that you can really play on your own, but you can. What I do is sort of the same thing that my friend and I did for Pokemon in college, where you shuffle up your deck, sit down the top 5 cards, and then draw a hand of 5 and see if you can play with it. But yeah, that's the Digimon deck, guys. Let us know if you'd like to see more content from Digimon from either myself or Eric, who is currently playing a game with Andrew's wife. And remember to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my channel, which will be in the description down below. Hopefully I'll get some more content going up on there while I'm on my pseudo break. And we'll catch you guys later.